What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Diamond Club podcast. I am John Hunter. This is Chris Lahiff. This is Danny the Pitchman Hart. Boys, what the fuck is up?
It's so nice to see you with a headset, not sound like you're looking for Nemo.
I'm in a fishbowl. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It sounds different. It feels better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It definitely feels better.
it's also nice to be off night work so we can actually fucking do a show for once. It's been brutal last couple of weeks, but it is what it is.
and while you're on light work, we just
Chris,
kept making fun of you.
are you becoming transparent?
Yeah,
I feel like I could see through your sleeves. Oh, there.
Yeah, it is what it is.
They're starting to disappear.
So,
Your Irish goodbye is coming soon.
no,
Dude.
that was my buddy Bill the other night.
Which one?
With my buddy Bill, Will, he'll be on.
What, the Rozier?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
we were down Wildwood this weekend, and we went to the number one, which is just terrible. I still amazes me that people drink that junk.
It
I mean, I
tastes
drank
like
it.
it tastes like Windex.
Right. So then we go to that, and then we go to Keaton's where Phil was working, and I'm, me and my buddy are like, hey, let's, I'm like, give me a Corona, give me a Michelob Ultra. He's like, give me a tequila and water. Wow.
like a fucking silent killer.
Oof.
Like, and then,
Not
then
even
we went
a vodka water, tequila water.
He went straight
tequila
for
and water.
tequila and water. Christ.
So- and he was on the beach all day drinking, and then we like, oh yeah, and then like one.
Was there like a special reason you guys were down, or is it just a normal
he had
vacation week?
he had a house for the week, so me and my buddy went down and we just had a guys
Nice.
weekend, hung out, and he disappeared literally like I turn around, there's a Michelob Ultra because he was like, I've made a terrible mistake,
Dude.
and then he just disappeared. Just
It's usually my specialty as well.
yeah, I keep tweeting out the Michelob Ultra. I can't get on the bite.
They'll figure it out. Just like the Phillies will eventually
They will
follow me on
eventually.
Twitter.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to, dude. Seeing the fucking
one step at a time.
seeing the heathens that they follow now, like they have to follow me eventually, right? Like that has to happen.
That picture you sent was
Yeah, I would think so.
We won't talk about it.
No.
But the fact that they follow like the people they do, it really is
Like
it really
borderline
bothers
creatures at
me.
this point.
Yeah, like I just like why? Just follow me. It's not that hard. Just fucking follow me. It's really not that hard. I promise you. But dude, like I feel like there's just been news after everything. There's so much stuff going on. There's so many moving parts going on with this Phillies team right now. I mean, we went from an 8-game winning streak to now they're in the middle again, where we're not really sure. But the good thing is they're not like they didn't like separate themselves. They're not like far away in second. They're not like the Mets have just been metting it up recently. So I mean that's just been a plus. They're not really losing much ground. Like it's the little days where it's like where I think it's 2.5 right now, or is it 2?
It's 2.5.
It's 2.5 right now. So
Yeah.
like the Braves look good. The Braves are hot right now. I can't like.
Yeah.
The good thing with the Braves is they lost a star, but they still had the MVP. So it's like.
Yep.
It's very difficult for them to really fall off the rails. They're not going to fall off hell like the Phillies. If the Phillies lost Bryce Harper, this season's over. They couldn't lose. I don't think they can. They can't lose him.
Yeah, and I mean, and the Braves did go out and make a couple moves like at the deadline. They went and got Jock Peterson a little before the deadline. They went and got Jorge Soler. Like Duval. Like they got depth. Like they did
100%.
lose Acuna, obviously. That's a huge hurt. But they went and plugged a couple holes and got a like big time depth that the Phillies do not have. Like we have consistently a couple players in the lineup every day that got minor league deals that should not be on an everyday lineup whatsoever.
And listen,
I'm looking at this guy's comment that those two teams aren't going to get the wild card unless I miss something. The three teams that are going to be in the playoffs out of the wild card are in the West. Like,
yeah, and
unless they just forget how to play. Unless they forget how to play baseball.
Well, I mean, they are starting Jake Arrieta tonight, so
which is just comical.
I mean, that's just been brutal.
He got rocked earlier. I thought
he
pitched.
Did he pitch earlier? I know that he was
hurt.
pitching.
Yeah, he
got
pitched
hurt
earlier. He got hurt. He got rocked and he left from a hamstring.
I know he was pitching today.
So
I didn't know if he got. I didn't know that he got hurt already. Haven't really been paying attention to it today, but that's impressive that he's already hurt.
Shout out to Dennis McGuire though. That's my boy.
Thank you. Thank you.
As he said though, like we played down to bad teams. We're all Philly sports fans. He should be used to that. Like I feel like all of our teams do that across the board. We always play down to the bad teams. Even like the process Sixers would always beat a great team, and then be like, how? Like why did that happen? Us as a city, we always rise to the occasion, and we always suck against the bad teams. Like I feel like that's just goes through all of our sports.
Well, I mean, if you go back and you look at like when the Phillies were like dominant from 2007 to 2011. And then they would lose to the Pirates, who were terrible. They were absolutely terrible, and they would lose 2 out of 3. And I was at like 2 of the games in Pittsburgh. Like, what the hell? Like, these are the Pirates. Like, they're not good. Like, and here we are. And then
maybe you should stop going to games.
Or we could do that.
But I mean, look at us against the Marlins. Like, we always suck against the Marlins, or have just continuously been the worst team in the league or in our division. We just get crushed by them all the time.
I saw a comment earlier that said the Phillies do not fare well in retirement states. Florida, Arizona. They don't. Hey, they don't fare well in a retirement state, and that could be it. That could be the issue, is that they don't just do well in retirement states. But like, there's a lot. I mean, there's
typically have a lot of fans in those states too.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people who want to get the fuck out of here and just want to head there. I understand that though, but this is the thing. We can sit here and we've blamed Girardi, we've blamed pitching, we've blamed the bullpen. I think finally we're gonna have to put a little light on the offense. You got to put light on the offense. The offense does not look good. It's definitely. I mean, it's obvious that one of the biggest problems here is Rhys Hoskins being out. Him being out is huge for this team right now, and it's becoming more of a glaring, it's obvious. It's becoming very obvious that this is a problem, and then you have Alec Boehm, who's been struggling all year. He's been struggling more defensively recently since June 1st. I think I saw that he was batting like 302 with like over 400. It was like it's like a 380 or something. On base percentage, like he's been hitting the ball solid since June 1st.
Yeah.
So he's not it's his defense that's keeping him out of the lineup, which is kind of crazy because you're like at this point I might trade the defensive because it's not the worst. It's not like he is the worst defensive third baseman right now, but like I might take his shit defense right now to add some offense to this team. Them not playing him is going to do more harm to him than good. He can't pinch hit. We've seen this. He looks overmatched every time he goes out and pinch hits because his timing's off. When he plays every day, it seems like that's a better move for him offensively. Yeah. I mean, you got to keep him in
a little off when he plays every day, like you said. So it's obviously his time is going to be 10 times. It's going to be amplified when he's a pinch hitter. He's not going to figure it out in 3 pitches. Like he does, he gets overpowered with fastballs. I don't understand why anyone would throw him. Like, why would you even like mix in off-speed pitches? If you elevate 95 or not even elevate, just place it in a decent spot, he's not going to touch it, which is ridiculous. No. But like you said, since June 1st, has I think close to an 800 OPS. It's probably around 700 actually. But like,
I just saw it. Hold on a second.
Now, maybe.
But for like
he's not hitting a home run, so he's not getting those.
No, his slugging percentage is definitely way lower than you would expect.
Yeah, because when we talk about the defense and everything, like we always revert and we joke back about Ryan Howard hitting the runner from first to second in the back of the head. We very rarely complained about his defense.
I wish that was Boehm's only problem defensively. Yeah.
But like it was, Boehm's really bad, and then you have then Didi, people are they love the name Didi just because he was a Yankee and he replaced Derek Jeter, and I don't and because they think Derek Jeter was this great defensive shortstop, and he was good. He wasn't great in my opinion. He was good.
I just said this on Twitter the other day.
See,
I
great
just
minds
said
think
this.
alike.
I just said on Twitter the other day, Didi Gregorius is very Jeter-like
Jeter-esque.
when it comes. Yeah, I literally said Jeter-esque when it comes to defense. He makes those flashy plays where people are like, "Oh, maybe he isn't that bad defensively." But then when you look at the numbers, he's like a negative 11 defensive runs saved. The dude is brutal at shortstop. He's they got to figure out a way to either move him or tell him like you got to go to the bench or something next year. He's not an everyday player anymore. I don't think he's an everyday shortstop right now. He doesn't look like one. He looks like he and he's barely doing anything offensively. He's probably hurt, to be honest. Right now, he's hurt. That's got to be what it is, because there's no way.
I mean, that's been a problem with him his whole career too.
Yeah. And he's one trick. He's a one-trick pony. It's either he pulls the ball for a homer or he really doesn't do anything.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, if you're a pitcher, live outside. Like if you just pitch him outside, he has no chance to hurt you.
No.
Like I said, if you go back and you think of Jeter and his defensive plays, you look at the Giambi not sliding in the playoffs and him going into the stands and his jump throw. Like other than that, like Jeter never really did anything. He, to me, like Omar Vizquel, all those guys like that I remember growing up with, like the Ozzie Smiths, like he was never like that. He was, like I said, he was good. He was okay. He didn't kill you as much as Didi is killing us right now, or Alec Bohm, but he did enough. But again, like you said, the way that it goes back to the way that Major League Baseball markets him. You always see that play where he takes the ball, he goes over to cutoff man and he flips it to the catcher, or he goes in the stand. And those are the plays you see. Yeah. And his jump throw, you don't see him sending the ball into the stands over the netting. Well, there wasn't netting back then, but you never see that.
So back to the Alec Bohm thing.
He just happened to be the most marketable player on the most marketable team. So
by far, and
that's why he was so famous. Obviously,
he had a marketable quality, is what he had.
Yes.
So back to the Alec Bohm thing. Alec Bohm, since June 1st, his slash line is 311, 387, 426. He has a
he does have 800 OPS.
He has a 123 WRC plus. He has, what was it? I'm sorry. I went too late. He's 316, 385, 421 slash line. So it's better, actually. He has 1.2 WRC plus. His also, which you'll see he isn't getting the power, is 105 right now. Not good. Not good. Either you're hoping for some power. It's not good at all. His strikeout rate is, I believe, it's high on the team right now. So when he does play, it's either he's either striking out or he's not doing it. He's either striking out or getting single at this point. Not really doing anything after base wise. He's got a 9% foot walking. In order for him on base, it's hit or nothing at this point. So I don't know. There's a couple things with him that you keep playing him and you get this issue that's going on with him. That's the only way I think you can stop this. You can play him. The defensive thing is not going to be fixed overnight. I think we all know that. I mean, we can all agree here. He become the fucking golf short that's out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Did Chris just bounce on us?
I don't think he.
Or am I having technical difficulties?
I don't think on purpose. I think he'll be back.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, would you trade his? Yeah. I mean, at this point, you kind of have to trade his offense for lackluster defense because you're not getting offense anywhere else. Sure. I mean,
no.
We have no identity as an offense right now. There's no plan at the plate. No one gets on base whatsoever outside of Harper. I think it was Matt Gelb who said that, the whole lineup's been struggling. Harper has not. He's batting .211 in the last 8 games, but he has over 1,000 OPS in the last whatever it was. So how the hell can you complain about that? Yeah, you can't. You can't complain about that whatsoever. He was on base percentage like a 448 clip in the last however many games he was trying to say was struggling. It's a 448. Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous, but like
yeah, dude.
you
I'm
kind
just
of
confused. That's what I'm confused on is how people look. Like we're seeing more and more every day that people look at certain things as far as like statistics and shit like that.
Yeah.
You can see how far away people look at them. You have people who look at Harper say like that it was only a 7-game stretch too. It wasn't like it was like crazy sample size. It was 7 games, and in those 7 games, when you got a guy who's got a I think it was like a 1,080 OPS. He had the highest OPS by almost like 300 points on his team. That's not even that shouldn't be. He shouldn't be that far away from everyone else on his team.
Mm-mm.
That's a true look. And at this point, we've come to this. We've talked about this so many times this year. At this point, you've exhausted every single option at the leadoff spot to get this offense going. I will say it again for probably how many times is it going to be? Chris, what do you think? How many times have I said this year?
I've lost count. Like
the billionth?
All I know
I think you're underselling that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you go over 1 billion, it's a plus 225. If you go under,
Yeah, I'll take the over.
Yeah, and you got to think that what we're talking about is Harper. How is he not the leadoff guy right now? This offense needs a shape up. It does not hurt you. It doesn't hurt. It could only help you at this point. The guy's getting on base.
Yeah, so would you rather have him on base with 2 outs or leading off the inning? Would you rather?
That's what I'm saying.
A solo home run doesn't matter if it's 2 outs or leading off the inning. It's a solo home run. So why not get him if you're going to get him to start off the game? And if not, he's fucking walking at a ridiculous rate right now. It makes 100% like sense, obviously, to lead him off, and it's just that's been my whole thing this year is like that you but they keep going back to guys like Odubel Herrera, for instance. He's leading off again tonight. Yeah, and
have you ever seen a player get more opportunities than him?
Have you ever seen a player go from 8th to 1st so consistently? How the fuck are you either the first batter or the last offensive batter on your team? How does that make any sense? Like just like a simple logical explanation. You cannot explain that to me.
I don't get how they're okay with it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it's defended. They'll defend him.
Yep.
And it has this has nothing to do with personal feelings about him. He's just not that good.
No.
And I'm tired, and I'm so fucking tired and frustrated of seeing a lineup where he leads off. I had my buddy Ryan text me earlier and say he was coming at whatchamacallit at Girardi. He said offense is in a slump. Let's make this lineup worse. And then he throws his fucking lineup out there, and it's Odubel Herrera leading off.
Yeah, he puts who's been 8th batter first. How the fuck does that make any sense? He's obviously not that valuable if you're putting him 8th majority of the games. So how do you put him first? Like I get the people that say let's lead off Segura. I get that. He's going through a little rough patch right now, but throughout Segura's career, he has a 330 lifetime on base percentage. That's not who he was his whole career. Granted, he's been on fire all season up until the last 7 games.
Yeah.
At least I understand putting him lead off because he does.
Me too.
But I feel like having Harper first. You know how Segura hits? He goes to the right side all the time. You put Harper first, he gets on base a ton. He'll be on first base. He leads the team in steals.
Yep.
So they're going to hold him on, obviously. Segura goes to the right side hole all the time. Have Harper first, Segura second. That makes all the sense in the world. That's just a recipe for success right there.
You're guaranteeing yourself. I can guarantee right now, if they went just a month, and said, Harper, you're the leadoff guy, right? Yep. If they said, Harper, you're the leadoff guy, you might bat, Segura maybe third. When Hoskins coming back, maybe make him the 2-hitter. I guarantee that lineup right there, middle of the lineup would have no power. It already doesn't have it, though. What are people not understanding about this? The front two have not done anything for him.
Yeah.
So he's got 20 home runs and he's got 22 home runs. 20 of them are solo home runs. He's got 14 home runs with 2 outs 2 or more. It's 1 or more outs, which it's more 2 outs than it is anything because he's batting third all year. He has come up more times with 2 outs than any 3-hitter in baseball. It doesn't matter about the right now. This lineup does not have the possibility to have him bat 3 or 4. It doesn't have that chance right now. As of right now, it does not have that opportunity. In the offseason, you can address it, and I get that you can move on and make somebody else the leadoff guy. I'm cool with that. But right now, this lineup does not have anything to like be able to complement that. So him batting in the middle of the order doesn't make any sense for anything right now.
No, if anything,
it doesn't help it. Yeah. It hurts someone. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. Because if you bat him leadoff, you're giving your best on base percentage guy. Miss Hoskins hates me too. I miss Hoskins too, and that's a big part of this.
Yeah.
Like right now, the Phillies are so top heavy in their lineup. That's all they are. They're top heavy. You have guys like Ronald Torreyes, Travis Jankowski, and Brad Miller playing far too often.
Yep,
they are, and it's not a knock. And Ronald Torreyes has been great, and I understand that. And I'm not going to sit here and and act as if he hasn't been good. He's been a good player, but he's being overblown because of how bad everything else has been.
Absolutely
right.
And what Michael Dunbar said with the middle lineup having no power, the power has no use unless there's people on base. And if we had leadoff hitters, obviously Harper's on the bat third or fourth or whatever you want to say. But having Herrera lead off, like, why?
So JT lead off. And a big reason why I don't want JT leading off is because JT hasn't been able to. He hasn't been walking. He hasn't been getting on base other than if he gets a single or he gets a home run. He hasn't done anything to. He doesn't get on base enough.
I'd rather him lead off than fucking Odubel, though. But
me too. Absolutely.
That's not really.
But he's a contact hitter. He's the type of guy who you need. He's actually probably a more prime player right now to bat 4 if you do that situation.
If you have Harper bat first, yes, exactly.
Because he's been hitting the ball the other way like crazy and has been getting through that little hole between second and first.
That's what JT and Segura have been doing all year. So why would you not have Harper lead off? Then you have both of them afterwards, and then you're pretty much guaranteed that Segura or JT are going to hit the ball in the right side hole if Harper's on first, and if not, he's going to steal second base anyway. Like
the thing with Torreyes and Brad Miller is it's the fan base is we fall in love with them, and it'll turn out in the media. That next year the Phillies should keep Torreyes, they should keep Miller, they should keep whoever else, and keep Didi because of his contract. Well, when you got Bryson Stott who's got 13 home runs, his OPS is 863. I mean, he strikes out, but he's batting 274. Like imagine if Bryson Stott was hitting 274 in this lineup. I know minor leagues is different than major leagues. But look at Bryson Stott, what he's doing in the minors. Look what Mickey Moniak was doing. Like if we had Mickey Moniak and he was doing what he was doing in AAA and he was doing it in the majors, this team would probably have 10 more wins.
If you gave Moniak a fucking chance, like why would you not give Moniak a chance over Odubel? And for the people that say like Harper is not a leadoff man, you can't bet Harper first. Would you rather have Odubel have more at bats than Harper? Like it's that simple. Like why the fuck is Odubel getting more at bats than our best player who's been he's 13th in baseball in WAR right now. Like he missed 20 games. Like he's I think he's 4th or 5th in WRC plus for qualified batters. And
I think he might be better than that right now.
I think he might be 3rd. I think he's like 159. I think
159.
Yeah, it's Vladdy, Ohtani, and I think he's tied for 3rd then.
Okay.
I think someone else has 159. So for all the people saying that Harper's showing the bat leadoff because he's the power hitter, he's paid to produce runs.
But he's not.
You have Odubel batting first. Like that's an argument right there. Like how can you say you don't want Harper batting first, but you're okay with this dude batting first that has a sub 300 on base percentage? Like why wouldn't you want your better players having the most at bats, especially when you're so top heavy, when you have a bunch of injuries, when you have these minor league contract players who sign just for a chance to maybe get on a team, and the other dudes are in starting lineup every day. Like it's ridiculous that like these conversations have been going on all year.
So I'm not. So to Dennis McGuire said if they are making a run and the window is this year, Moniak is not our solution. I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting that. But my problem here is you have a guy who has done well when giving a lot of opportunities in the minor leagues. I know the minor leagues are different. They are different. I get that, and I'm not going to sit here and make it like they're the same. But you had a guy who was doing really well in the minors, and you have a guy up in the majors who is fucking brutal. I would rather try to. I'm like there is no. To be honest, there's no loss in putting Moniak and giving him a shot.
He's better defensively.
Yeah, I mean, there's no problem with giving him a chance right now because the alternative is not right now as we know it is not better than what bringing Moniak up would be.
And not to mention when Moniak was he was brought up to Double-A, he didn't do too well from jump. No. Then he played very well. Then he got brought up here. Obviously, didn't get a really chance. But when he got sent back down to AAA this year, he did terrible his first 10 games maybe. Then he went on fire, and he was the best player in our organization outside of the MLB, obviously. And then why wouldn't that continue if you brought him up and gave him a legit chance and not 40 plate appearances? Like you said, is having Odubel every day, you know what he is, you know what you're getting from Odubel. Does that reward outweigh the risk of bringing up Moniak and giving him a chance? No, it doesn't. Not in mine. Yeah.
To be honest, but this has been a problem with Odubel for the last couple seasons. I know he didn't play at all last year because of all the domestic abuse things that happened. I just think this team and the manager thinks we are only 2.5 games out of it. So my Harper 22 Gabe Kapler had him lead off a few years ago. Can't hurt the team. Exactly. It can't hurt the team. It cannot hurt the team. That is exactly my part. My part. Thank you, Marcus. I agree with that. You can't. It's not hurting anything. That right now, anything they do can only improve the team. Because if you're doing you've been doing the same thing. You're only what they said. This is mad. Isn't that the definition of insanity?
Insanity, yeah.
You keep doing the same thing with expecting different results. This is what's going on with this team right now. They're expecting different results, and I don't know if Joe Girardi has all the say in the lineup being made every day, but I would assume he has a good amount of the idea of what's going on every day. And we can sit here and say that he doesn't have a lot of options, but he's got options right now. You have at least one more option. You have at least one more card to pull.
Yeah,
right now with what you have,
his cards are short in the back end of the lineup, but he has options up front. He has options to make. What? Wouldn't you rather Harper lead off with a home run and set the table and make the game obviously start in a way better fashion than get 2 easy outs and then a home run and then another easy out? Why not start off with a bang and get the momentum jumping early?
In reality, in a lineup that isn't the two that they're in right now. Are Ronald Acuna and Fernando Tatis leadoff hitters, prototypical leadoff hitters? No, they both steal bases. Given they do, they both steal bases. But both of them are guys who drive the ball. That's what they do. They drive the baseball. And look what them two can do for their lineups, and they have done for their lineups. Him leading off with a home run is not a problem. That is not an issue at all. At any point, to be honest, if he leads off with a home run, can Johnny Kelsey move to left and put Moniak in center field? I would not. But that's the thing. Guys like Jankowski, it's a shame that we are sitting here in mid-August talking about how Jankowski, we have to figure out for him to move to another position, to left field. But right now, I don't want Jankowski moving to left because I like what's his name, McCutchen.
Yeah.
McCutchen's been playing well.
He's been on a struggle bus against righties for a little bit, but I mean,
I like McCutchen. I like McCutchen over Jankowski. I trust him better over Jankowski. But but this is a problem that we're trying to maneuver these older these players like this.
That's true. 100% true.
100% they are. Yeah. You're right. But but that's the thing. The Phillies have talent. They're just not in the right positions.
Right. I mean, and
they're the best catcher in baseball, don't they? Right. Isn't that what the hashtag's been? Best catcher in baseball. You have Segura, who is right now I believe the best defensive second baseman in all of baseball, who's also hitting the ball really well. So you have options, just like teams like the Braves do. You have Hoskins when he is healthy and when he does come back. You have Hoskins, who is a power hitter. He can do this. They can do that. They can make that move. But it's just the fact that he is continuously putting them in a position that I'm not sure if it's Joe Girardi. I'm not sure if it's higher ups. I'm not sure if it's Sam Fold. I don't know if it's Dave Dombrowski. I don't know who it is. But the decision that they're making is the wrong one constantly. The offense is going to continuously look broken if they're not doing anything to fix it.
Right, and you look at the Giants, who are a plus 147 a run scored, and the Phillies are a minus 19. Like think about all the times that Bryce was up, or he could have let off a game, and he takes a lot of pitches too. He fouls a lot of pitches off. Like, you put wear and tear on a pitcher's arm. Like,
he sets the tone.
I just don't. It doesn't. I don't understand how Joe Girardi looks at this lineup, and if he has the full say in it, like, how do you not just bat him leadoff? Like, what is your reasoning for not batting him leadoff? And I don't want to hear he's not a leadoff hitter. He's done it before.
I don't get how you reason that Odubel is a leadoff hitter. That makes me Harper not leading off makes me less mad than Odubel leading off. Like, I don't get that.
1,000%.
Obviously, I want Harper to lead off too. He's the best hitter on the team. He's the best on base guy. He leads the team in steals. He does all the leadoff shit that you want a leadoff hitter to do. He just happens to be the best player as well, so you want him batting third. But where is the argument for Odubel to bat leadoff? What is it? What does he do that he should bat leadoff?
There's a weird like, I feel like there's like a weird love. Like, he refuses to not put him in the lineup. He tries to find ways to get him in there. It's embarrassing to watch this dude come out every day and that be the guy who you're calling your center fielder and sometimes your leadoff hitter. You can't have a leadoff hitter whose on base percentage is in the 290s. I'm sorry, you can't. Like, exactly. That's not beneficial to anybody. It's not beneficial to the Phillies. It's not beneficial to him. It's not helping anything.
You might as well bet Andrew Knapp. Like at that point,
and for all the people that say Harper doesn't have enough RBIs, a lot of it to do is with Odubel being a leadoff man. Like, it's that simple.
Yeah,
like, you're putting this dude who doesn't get on base at all in front of Harper.
So, and one thing I need to, like, because we keep talking about the playoffs, and I've seen Dennis has brought up a couple of times about being 2.5 out and all that stuff, and I get that, and they're 2.5 out of their division. We also have to pump the brakes on thinking that this team is going to really make a push, though. Do I like? I don't like this team. I think they're an okay team right now. When it comes to statistics, they are in the middle. They're like 15th in almost every statistical category as a team, except for defense, where they're almost dead last. I think I think they are. I know defensive runs saved, they're dead last. So mix that with you're mediocre offensively, and then you're terrible. You're even worse defensively. You're the worst. You're one of the worst teams in baseball defensively. If you think that even if they make the playoffs, that this team is ready for the next step, you're just being a fan of the team. And I get that, and I hope that they succeed too. But this year, look at this year like 2007 more than you're looking at it like 2008.
It's a setup.
It's a setup. You're getting these guys in.
Can be, yeah.
You're getting these guys in the playoffs. You're getting them experience, and then they get hungry. And now next year, you build off that. Don't look at this year as 2008. People have to stop looking at it as if getting into the playoffs and winning the World Series is the only option. It's not. Right now, making the playoffs is what they should be focusing on, and whatever happens after that happens.
And it goes back to what Jimmy Rollins said. After the 2007 when they got swept, he said there was no pressure. We got that taste, and we went out and we played baseball in 2008. That's all we did in the playoffs. It was there was no pressure. We were going out there. We were having fun. What do you say? Probably except Chase, but everyone was going out and having fun.
Chase doesn't have fun. He just plays baseball.
Right, and you finally have that hungriness. You fed it, and now you just want to play and get it over with. And that's what they did. They did that in 08 and 09. And you saw how good they were, like how they clicked. I think people forget how bad Chase Utley's first game was. He struck out on like 10 pitches in 3 at-bats. And then look what he did in 08, like how good he was. They got all that pressure. Like Cole Hamels was terrible in game 1. Then he took the long sleeves off, and then his whole demeanor changed, and then he changed the following season. It's all about experience. This team isn't ready for the World Series. If anyone thinks this team's ready for the World Series, listen, it's fun to watch meaningful baseball. It really is.
Absolutely.
It was, Saturday, I was drinking beer and watching the Phillies and watching Matt Moore look ridiculous. He looked ridiculous. I understood why he took him out. I was against it. You want to make sure you get that win. But again, you look at the Matt Moore thing and you're like, if he was struggling, why did he take him out? But he wasn't struggling. And I get why he did, but he wasn't struggling.
So this is something that I saw Kevin Cooney talk about the other day, and he absolutely nailed it. Kevin Cooney said, it's funny because Saturday he was throwing that no-hitter, right? He was dealing, absolutely fucking dealing.
Right.
I think like 4 days before that is when it was announced that he was gonna start that game, and everyone was in an uproar. Why is he starting? I can't believe he's starting. What's going on? Like what? So pump the brakes on making it as if it was a bad decision, because it wasn't. It wasn't a bad decision. Matt Moore is what he is. You know what I mean? I wasn't like what it was going to be a combined no-hitter. This dude was not going out there and throwing 9 no-hit innings. It wasn't happening. It was going to implode, and he got it before it imploded. It looked good up until the Archie Bradley solo home run that he gave up. It wasn't. No one was pitching bad. It was a perfect setup. He gives up that home run. Everyone's in uproar. Why did Joe Girardi take him out?
Right.
He took him out because he shouldn't have been in there that long. He was pitching the best game of his life.
Yeah.
Like, let's let him revel in the 6th inning no hitter that he was throwing, and let's back up and think to yourself, you didn't even want him starting,
Absolutely
let alone continuously him pitching in that game.
Yeah.
So he pitched a fantastic game. Little fact, by the way, the Phillies are 8-2 in games that Matt Moore has started in.
Yeah, have you seen like the differential between
think about that?
the Matt Moore, Chase Anderson, Velasquez winning percentage over Eflin, Wheeler, and Nola? Like, did you see that?
No.
I think the Phillies and the Eflin, Wheeler, Nola, who have a combined like 10.5 F-WAR, somewhere around there. I'm just remembering a tweet that I seen a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I think we're 4 games under 500. when them 3 pitch, but when Velasquez, Moore, or Chase Anderson pitch, I think we're 6 games over 500.
I mean, well, right now you got to think Chase by himself. Matt Moore is 6 games over 500.
Yeah,
and think about that. Like go back to 2008, like when we acquired Joe Blanton. The Phillies were undefeated in his starts. Every start. He didn't get all the wins, but you just go back, you look like he kept the team in the game. He didn't blow it. It's like I think he was like 10 like the Phillies were 10-0 in his starts, including the playoffs and the World Series.
Yeah.
Which again, you look at Joe Blanton and you look at the other you had Jamie Moyer, you had Brett Myers, you had Cole Hamels, and then you have Joe Blanton, who was traded for a box of Boston cream donuts, and the Phillies go 10-0 in his starts, and you're just like, what? Why? Why do they put up runs in certain pitcher starts? It's just it's
like Jacob deGrom and fucking Stroman are dealing with it all the time. Freddie Freeman just got a cycle, by the way.
I saw that, his second of his career.
Yeah,
he's a beast, dude.
His pants are so high still.
And so is his haircut.
I know, but
so
he's
high
a free
and
agent,
tight.
right?
Yeah, he'll be back there.
Speaking of free agents, this is like what Dennis was saying earlier, how we should have went and got a center fielder. Yeah, I agree. That would have been great, but they're so hard to find a legitimate center fielder that has team control. Like, yeah, you could have went and got Buxton, I guess, if there was a sign and trade. I would have loved to get Marte if Starlin Marte would have agreed to sign.
He's a free agent.
I know. Yeah, if it was like a sign thing where we sign and trade type deal, I would have loved Marte. He would fit perfectly with our team. He's a great defender. He's a 40 steal guy most of the years.
He kills two birds with one stone there in one signing.
Yeah, and he's a leadoff man. Yeah.
He'll bat leadoff and he can play center field. That's two problems right there that they won't have to worry about.
I would have loved to trade for him, but you can't like risk the few prospects that we have on a guy that could walk a couple of months from now. Like, I hope like Marte, he's a little older, but like he would have been such a good get.
It would have been a great acquisition.
I mean, the Phillies,
absolutely, but
the Phillies, but like you said, the few prospects they have, the people have to also see that the Phillies farm system is so top heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 5 guys that we are really legitimately looking at and thinking like these could be something. I mean, Bryson Stott being one of them. I didn't want to get I know Bryson Stott they were asking Bryson Stott for Craig Kimbrell, I believe is what the Cubs asked. Like, no shot. I'm not doing that. Craig Kimbrell, like, and I know everyone was high on Craig Kimbrell, and of course anything at that point was an upgrade in the Phillies bullpen.
Yeah.
But let's go back to 2018 when the Red Sox decided they didn't even want Craig Kimbrell closing the World Series. I know times have changed and things happen over the couple of years, and people get better and people do things. I still think about that they literally didn't trust him to get the final outs of a World Series because of how poorly he had pitched the last month of the season. I mean, I like Craig Kimbrell. He's a very good closer, but when it comes to postseason, I mean, is that what you want? Do you want another guy who's going to keep blowing saves, or he's going to put you in a more compromising position? Because sometimes he gets very curveball happy.
Yep.
And when you just want him to blow guys away, but instead he's throwing curveballs into the dirt that nobody's chasing.
Yeah, I would have much rather went and got a center fielder than Craig Kimbrell. But if Bohm gets his shit together, plays third, do you think they can sign Chris Bryant, try to him center field before he got traded? Like, Brian said he wanted to play center field. He said it's his favorite position to play. That would have been nice. But I don't see Bohm getting his shit together whatsoever.
Me neither. And a big problem with that is Alec Boehm's been a bad third baseman since he was in college.
Yeah,
at Wichita State, I think his junior year, he had like 13 errors. And you got to think the sample size of baseball is
they played 40 games?
50, something like that, 40 or 50. And he had that many errors in that short period of time. He hasn't been a good defender for years. I don't see him miraculously changing right now. He could. I mean, who knows? I mean, you had a guy like Alex Gordon, who was a mediocre third baseman, went to the outfield and became one of the best defensive left fielders in baseball. I mean, that could be a possibility. You could see. I think left field. Alec Boehm could definitely be an outfielder. I felt
like left field would be better for him, 100%.
I talked to that dude in the alley a lot. He's on Twitter, and that's been a suggestion of his for probably for a couple of weeks now. I've seen him float that idea out there, and the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, hey, I mean, that could definitely be a possibility that they could do that. We've seen players do that. Look at you had him. You had we mentioned I mentioned Alex Gordon. You have Ryan Braun who did it. Yeah. Like there's players who like, all right, well, if I'm not a third baseman, I could probably move to like left field. You got McCutchen's contract expiring. You don't sign him back, and you could easily just slot him into left field.
Yeah, and I don't think it would be as bad of a transition as Hoskins had, because Hoskins runs with concrete shoes on.
Yeah,
and Bohm's actually pretty quick. Like when he gets running, he just can't. His quick reaction, he doesn't get low enough to field a ground ball.
No,
like he's 9 foot tall. He's built like a giraffe, and he just doesn't. It does not get down there. The ball's always going under his glove, like continuously. And then when he does get to the ground, most of the time it's just to get low, and he doesn't even realize the ball's bouncing up. Like he doesn't have the instincts like to field a hard ground ball at all. And so left field is probably the best spot.
And this isn't the first time. We just saw Fernando Tatis was playing shortstop. Now he's playing right field. Like it can happen. It doesn't just happen to players who are just somewhat struggling. If they want you to move to another position, they'll do it. And Fernando Tatis is probably right now the front runner for MVP.
Yeah, I mean he's back.
As long as he's healthy, he's the MVP.
Yeah, he could probably play 2 more weeks at his pace, and he'll solidify the MVP race.
100%.
Like it's ridiculous what he's doing.
Yeah.
But What
I gotta ask.
wasn't Joey Gallo? No, Joey Gallo wasn't a third baseman. I was trying to think of other no, he's left-handed, so that doesn't even make sense.
So what happened
he's
on
right-handed
the Kincaid?
throwing.
What happened on the Kincaid show today?
I have no idea, but I seconded it. I don't know what it was, but
okay.
But I heard, but I got tagged.
I tagged you because I figured you listened to Kincaid and you're always arguing him on Twitter.
No idea what happened, but I second whatever type of shit talk happened against him.
Okay, I'll find out.
Because trust me, it's getting very, very close to the time that I can call him back again and say, hey, remember when you told me that to call you back in July? Well, I didn't. I'm going to call you in August because that's a month later. And he's still in the talks for MVP.
So, I mean, obviously, we all know if this team had Jake Odorizzi, we would be in first place by 15 games, right?
Run, Jack, run.
Yeah, run, Fritz, run.
Yeah, fucking jitbag.
So let's.
Our magic number would be 6 if we had him.
Yeah.
So let's go on to happier things. Like we start getting frustrated. Danny, did you watch the Field of Dreams games?
Joey Gallo was third baseman too, as well.
Yeah, I know that he throws left-handed. I know he throws right-handed. He
played third in the MLB.
So before we talk about the Field of Dreams game, I do have one thing that we should talk about. To anybody who's listening, we will be having T-shirts made.
Yes, sir.
That's a happy thing. We get to talk about that. There is T-shirts that will be made. They are the Diamond Club Podcast T-shirts. They will be on sale. We're probably getting them. We were told probably next week is when we'll be getting them in. We will we'll post sizes. We'll post what we have. The availability of everything. We're also going to probably be doing. Dan, you said you wanted to do some type of like giveaway on the show as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I guess every week, like as long as we get like a certain amount of like shares, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to throw a shirt out there. Like whoever, we'll throw it in a simulator, we'll raffle it off, whoever.
Yeah. And
they'll get a T-shirt. We're only going to have 50 from jump.
Yeah, it's limited for the.
They're going to go quick. We just wanted to put an order out there so we could get the shirts in rotation. So the sizes, you're going to have to buy them quick. And from jump, as soon as we get these shirts available, as soon as we put them out there, we're going to be taking another order. So if you don't get a chance to get the first couple, there's not all the sizes available. We don't have smalls. There's only a few 2Xs.
We have.
I'm taking one at least.
Yeah.
I'm not the smallest dude in the world, but
we have 2 colors as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have the white shirt, right?
One's a white shirt, and it's gonna have an alternate logo, not the one that we have that's on the back part of this podcast. We have an alternate logo as well.
The gray and red one.
Yeah.
Facebook. And then this logo that you see in the back on a baby blue shirt. So
it's going to be on like a more of a powder blue of your if you want to call that. It's more. I think it's called Columbia blue. So it's more. It's like the what is that called? What kind of like who does that? North Carolina has Columbia blue. Father Judge for people who.
It's kind of close to this color actually.
Yeah, it is.
Very similar to this. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be on the new. That's going to be that's the newest news for us. We're going to be back every week. Dan, what days?
Sunday nights would be
Sunday.
I have a lot of night work coming up. So
So every Sunday night we're going to be giving new live episode on at probably 8:00. It's probably or could be 7:30.
7:30 to 8:30.
I most likely I would do 7 because I think the Sixers show is 8:30.
Okay.
There's a
won't be able to.
I'll get with them, but I'm pretty sure the Sixers show is 8:30.
Well, so, is the Sixers show still going on?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's on a little hiatus because there's literally nothing to talk about right now. Just like eventually the hockey show.
Are we waiting for Ben Simmons to get traded? Is that going to be the next big show? Has to be the next show, right?
It has to be.
If it's not, it's stupid.
Right. And then we have the tendies on Patterson, and that's going to take like a 2-week because training camp. There's nothing going on in the hockey world right now. Everything is baseball and football.
Absolutely.
I mean, what are you going to come on and talk for hockey about? Like, there's literally nothing to talk about.
Oh, and more good news. Michelob Ultra is going to sponsor us. They just haven't reached out yet.
Yeah, they haven't.
We're working about Michelob Ultra. If you're listening, we'll send you a T-shirt.
The soon to be
official beer sponsor.
sort of, kind of, maybe one day,
Maybe.
sort of, maybe, kind of one day, sponsor of the Diamond Club podcast,
or just send us some gear,
or Natty Light,
or fucking Milwaukee's Best, one or the other, whatever we can get our hands on. Paps, maybe some.
They're
Paps.
not making the Beast anymore.
They don't make it anymore. It's dead.
They're not. Yeah, my wife was saying that Milwaukee's the Best is getting discontinued.
Well, it's not the best. That's why.
It's not a bad choice, honestly. I wish they would have discontinued that before I was alive.
Yeah.
That definitely ruined a couple brain cells.
But so let's talk about the Field of Dreams game. And Danny, did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the replay. Yeah,
because he had work. What a loser!
Yeah, fucking brutal. I got a slice on my stomach. I got fucking cuts all around my arms. I look like a junkie from this fucking job I'm on right now.
Danny had to go support his family. What a loser!
Yeah, fucking.
What a loser.
My daughter's like, "Why are you going to work? We're supposed to go to bed soon." I'm like,
"You need pants.
We ran out of fucking Fruity Pebbles. What do you want me to do? Gotta go break some walls down."
She's like, "Where's my Michelob Ultra?"
I'm like the fucking Kool-Aid, man. It's brutal.
She's
unbelievable.
She's crushing
of night work.
She's crushing Ultra cans. But and it was just announced that it's the Reds and the Cubs next year.
Yeah,
for 2022.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, they have to continue that every season. It's fucking, it's just beautiful. I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like every season we'll get too comfortable with it. Like the fact that it's the first one, and it was just like, damn, like this is real. Like that was so cool.
I'll tell you this right now: Kevin Costner cannot do the 8-minute walk.
Oh no, he can't do it every year.
That was a one-time thing.
Yeah,
and that's it.
You can keep doing it.
Kevin Costner loves himself from Kevin Costner.
Oh,
absolutely.
Dude, he's phenomenal though. He is Mr. Baseball movie.
Oh yeah,
he is.
I would have Tom Selleck come out next.
I mean, you could. Who's let's do Ray Liotta next year.
That's what we were saying when we were down the shore and we were talking about that.
No Ray Liotta in it.
Yeah, why not?
He was Shoeless Joe.
Yeah, he was. He was batting right-handed, and I believe Shoeless Joe batted left-handed.
That makes sense.
Did.
And he was a right-handed thrower, and Ray Liotta was throwing with his left hand. I know it was opposite of whatever it is. It was opposite.
So, but now, like you said, like the whole thing was just awesome. Like, you know, we talking in the chat and then on Twitter. You know, 4 minutes of no talking, and then when they just came out of the cornfield, you were like, "Ugh, this," and then, like, it was like like a good gut wrench. You're like, "I'm not crying. I'm not tearing up. Why? It's nothing's happening," and I'm like choking up watching it.
So like, beautiful.
And you know, and look how the ninth inning was. You know. They hit two.
You can't script a better game than that. No.
That only happens in the movies.
Yeah,
literally.
A walk-off home run into the corn.
Not to mention the Yankees. Like they took the lead late. Like that whole. It was ridiculous. It's like if you watch a movie and that all that shit happened in the game, you're like, of course, it's a fucking movie. But the fact that it happened in real life, it's just like you can't even script that. It was too perfect to script.
Absolutely.
Like walk off, and especially like a player as likable and marketable as like fucking Tim Anderson. Like he's just great for baseball. Like the fact that like his rounded bases, everything was perfect. Like that was just how can you not be romantic about baseball? It's just fucking it's great stuff. That shit's awesome.
That's the famous line: is how can you not be romantic about baseball?
Yeah,
like one of my best friends is a Yankees fan. He's like, I'm not even mad. He's like, you couldn't script it. You couldn't script it that better.
Yeah.
You know the Wall 2-run home run. Like, again, it only happens in the movies. Like, it doesn't happen in real life. It doesn't even happen in the playoffs that much, unless it's the Phillies and it's Joe Carter. But it doesn't happen like that. It was awesome to see. And you got in the fields. You reminisce. I figure he's 31 years old. You know, having so like the next day on social media. It's, you know, all the Kinsella scenes with his dad at the end, you know, having a catch, and you're like, I can't watch this no more. I can't do this no more. Like I gotta log off. Like it's awesome, but I can't do it.
Yeah, because you get to think about your own situation. You know what I mean? Oh my god.
Yo, Chris? Can you? What the fuck is a plum smuggler?
I have no
idea. By the way,
I don't even know who that is, to be honest with you.
Well, he was asking you about SmackDown because behind you,
he knows you
you're watching
personally.
You're watching AEW.
I
There's the
am?
second most boring sport. Yeah, it was on. AEW was on.
Oh yeah, you know what? TNT was on.
Baseball is the second most boring sport next to F1 racing, and third is present day NBA.
I have no idea who this is, but
It's a plum smuggler, wherever the fuck that is. It's Ryan. Ryan who?
Oh, it's my buddy from New York.
Nolan Ryan?
No, it's
Nice to meet you, Mr. Nolan.
No, he's a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Charge this me on dog. I'm not Robin Ventura, baby.
No, he's breaking your balls. He's a funny guy. He's just breaking my balls. He doesn't like baseball, and that's fine. But
yeah, that's fine.
So, but
I guess
think it's funny that we're like, am I watching the 8-6 SmackDown? I'm like, it's August 18th. Why would I watch it? It's Mr. Miller from the Sabres. So, but I guess that's it. You know, other than you are you doing your frozen rope tomorrow?
Probably Friday. We're
Okay.
me and are you available again, Dan?
I should we go Friday? I potentially could be good tomorrow night.
I think Friday would probably be better.
Okay.
For me as well.
Okay.
All right.
Nice. So, but all right. So you got the frozen rope, and then just look out on the Philly Sports Alliance. Obviously, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Hopefully, eventually, we'll get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, and we'll be live there too.
And look out for those T-shirts.
Yeah, be sure to get your order in, or you'll probably be waiting a week if you're going to be on the second order. But they're definitely going to go quick. We got 25 of each color, so they're going to go fast for obviously close family friends, shit like that.
We just wanted to drop the first to get our name out there, get the shirt out there, push it, go to games wearing it, tell people what it is, all that type of stuff. So we wanted to get them out there for right now, knowing that people are going to be going to games and shit. And before the season ends, we didn't want to wait till the season was over. So
I might be down the Phillies Eagles practice. I got invited to another podcast, but unless I go to practice, I'm not going down there.
Yeah.
So
So we
kids who all play sports, so we'll be around.
We figured we get the 50 shirt. We get the 50 shirts in, and then it'll be easier just to monitor what sizes people need and what if you want specific sizes, even kids sizes, we could do shit like that. So we just want to get generic sizes out there and then go from there. Yeah. Get an actual order for our fans.
We got to get a onesie.
Yeah, we do.
Plum Smuggler. The
2 onesies.
The focus of this podcast is
Phillies.
Then there's one that I do on Fridays that's just focused on all of Major League Baseball. Literally, you would not give a fuck about either of them.
It's definitely not about SmackDown or F1 racing. Or plums or smuggling anything.
I'm almost positive that's John Moxley behind you.
Yeah, I think he's having an aneurysm. Yeah. So look for us on the Apple platform. Our podcasts are up there every week.
Let's go
under the Diamond Club podcast, and obviously you see our ticker where to follow us. We're always Danny's always tweeting out under that because apparently he's banned.
I'm back, but I'm trying to still lay low. I'm staying low, so I don't get fucking booted again. I did only drink 3 full beers during this podcast. I thought I was going to go through more than that, but I'm about to watch the Phillies game, so I figured I might as well fucking. And I'm off tonight.
Plum Smoker's a freak. He's a freak.
Why not get?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
He is a fucking Texmanian devil, dude. You don't fucking stop with those fingers over there.
No.
That's 9 texts in a row.
I'm down for powder blue size large, Dan.
Marcus with the large. I hear you, dog.
So
we'll get you, brother.
All right, gentlemen. It's been fun. We'll see you guys on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Yes,
we are
sir.
out.
And look for them tomorrow or Friday on the Frozen Rope.
Yes, sir.